Excuse me, am I audible?
Yes,
Excuse
yes,
me.
yes.
Am I audible?
You're audible. Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes.
Cok Maro. Hmm. Hmm. The heads of the schools could give announcement of the link that we have in the Facebook, also in the YouTube, for facilitating all the more participants. Because I see that the participation is going over 100. A very good evening to all present here. We have come to another evening for enriching ourselves. Can I ask all the participants to mute? Please remain muted. We are about to begin our program. A very good evening to all present here. We have come to another evening for enriching ourselves to be better prepared for the mission entrusted to each of us. Let us then start this program invoking God's blessings. May I call upon Sister Mary Silla Yesudasan, Principal of Ferrando School, Umroy, Meghalaya, to lead us into prayer. Sister Mary Silla.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The setting sun has arrived at the west. Lord Jesus, it is your light that we seek. Would we be something if you didn't care for us now? Wouldn't have we fallen into nothingness? If you weren't here for us now. The birds are seeking their shelter. Dusk is fast approaching. Lord, it is your face that we seek, be it dawn or dusk. Beauty and truth would be empty if you weren't those. You are the light that we seek every moment of our life. Lord Jesus, you are our leader and our shepherd. Thank you for your example of servant leadership. You guide us by the light of your saving truth. Fill our hearts and minds with your light and the truth, and free us from the blindness and bias and deception, that we may see your ways clearly and understand your will for our life. May we radiate your light and truth to others in words and deeds, and thus truly be a servant to all and to you. Bless Mother Upadaya, the resource person of today's program, and the organizer, Sister Shiji James, and all the sisters and teachers of our different schools that are coming together and sharing our ideas may enrich each other and bring forth abundant blessings for us and for our students. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. Amen. Mary, help of Christians, pray for us.
Pray for us.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Stella. Dear sisters and teachers from various schools in the Northeast and outside, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this webinar on virtual classroom and active learning. The last two webinars inspired us to grow in understanding of the learners and to become aware of the challenging time we are faced with. Today's session on virtual classroom and active learning will touch upon three important dynamics of teaching and learning. To enrich us on this important theme, we have an eminent person, Sir Madhav Upadhyaya from LFS Guwahati. As I take this important task of introducing him to you, let me welcome each of you to this enriching session. Sir Madhav Upadhyaya is a well-versed academician with vast experience in teaching and conducting seminars and workshops for various groups, especially for teachers. He has been teaching for 18 long years in CBSE higher secondary schools in Kathmandu, Nepal, and in Guwahati. He has been the head of the Department of Science for 4 years in DAV Vishwabharati School, Kathmandu, Nepal. Besides this, he has been shouldering the responsibility of senior secondary coordinator for 2 years, and then as a vice principal for 3 years in the same institution. It is significant to note that he has also taught in GCE A level, and the University of Cambridge, UK, for 6 years as a lecturer in King's College, Kathmandu, Nepal, producing Nepal topper in physics for 3 years. And during the past 15 years, he has been involved in preparing the students for medical and engineering entrance examinations. Very many are the recognition awards he received for the outstanding contribution he made in education all along his teaching profession. If I mention all those, we may be at loss of the precious time we have set to listen to him. So let me now welcome Sir Madhav Upadhyaya, the resource person of today's webinar, to take his time. Sir Madhav, we welcome you wholeheartedly. Thank you for accepting to spare your precious time with us. Over to you, Sir Madhav.
Thank you so much, Reverend Sister CG. First of all, I'd like to thank Sister CG and MS MHC for giving me this opportunity to conduct this webinar online session. Is the virtual session. So before I start this session, I'm also a teacher. So in all the steps we have to learn, we are learning. So here, before I start the session, I'd like to request all the participants to participate actively so that we can make this, it's a grand event. I don't know, I'm trying my best. So good evening to you all. Reverend Sister C.G. James and the principal of different schools and teachers. So now I'd like to start the session. So just wait, I'll share the screen. Okay. You all know during the pandemic situation for the last 2 years, the global crisis has also been an extraordinary time for learning. We have learned and we are learning. We have to learn and we are learning how to adapt ourselves to make the teaching and learning effective and smooth. Educational policymakers, teachers, students, and even our family members we all are involved to bring this change. And especially I'm focusing, especially this pandemic changed the role of a teacher. Two crucial factors can be seen due to this pandemic. First, pedagogical adaptations. The traditional learning in person's model in a live classroom to a remote learning environment, the virtual classes, what I mean to say. Secondly, despite the different types of channels, networks, even the different online platforms, but no one can replace the need and importance of a teacher. Moreover, our responsibility and workload is increased to teach students and to some extent to the parents too, because we have seen when we are taking the classes, not only the students sitting back of the mobile, even parents are also sitting. So here, so uh, now to this make this session really interesting, I'd like to request again all the participants, especially the teachers, to involve, interact, share, and finally, I hope will gain. So online classes generally what the different tools we use like WhatsApp or Zoom meeting or Google Meet. If the network issue is there in some remote areas, if the network issue is there or the students they don't have sufficient data to go through the online classes, then they are having the WhatsApp class. So in WhatsApp also we can make it effective, though we cannot compare the classes with Zoom or Google Meet, whatever you are taking. We cannot compare that with the WhatsApp class. But anyway, if nothing is better than something, and as a teacher, we have some important rules also to make the classroom effective. So here this session is divided in basically three segments: introduction, involvement, and interaction, and finally the queries and feedback. Okay, I think we all have participated different workshop. Okay, we have been participating already. Sister Siji told this is the third or fourth session, and before this kind of series also, before that also, we teachers we are participating in live workshop, not in virtual. I mean to say live workshop trainings. Okay, and as a teacher, sometimes we feel that yes, we know everything. Now, whatever the expert will tell in the training session, we know everything. Only the problem is that difficult to implement, because that theoretical thing we all know, but only difficult to implement. Just here, I've noted down some points. We know everything, but difficult to implement, difficult to manage, because we know the thing. Yes, this is very good. We have to implement in the class, but how to manage it? It is not practical. We think as a teacher, we think that this is not practical for my subject. No time to do this theoretical ideas, because generally we believe that training isn't some whatever things are told in the training, that is theoretical thing. We believe theoretical ideas not applicable in my subject, because my subject is something different. This kind of trainings are not applicable. I have to complete my syllabus. Yes, as a teacher, we have to complete our syllabus, but it doesn't mean that syllabus is there, so I cannot follow some activities or to make my classroom interesting. It doesn't mean that, but these are the excuses, because I have to complete my syllabus. If I go through this kind of theoretical thing, so it is very difficult for me, and especially these online classes, it's especially higher classes. Higher classes is very difficult to complete the syllabus, difficult to get the teaching aids immediately not available. Teaching aids, when you have to teach something, we need the teaching aids, but we feel that it's not there. School is not providing the teaching aids, or it's not there. How to manage? Who will bring? No supportive staff is there. So that kind of excuses always we may have. And finally, the most important point is that students are very weak. They don't have interest to study. They don't pay the attention in my class. These are the some excuses. Uh, so now we have to work on it. So today, let's try practice in different ways with positive attitude. So here, uh, initially I thought I'll go through only the online classes, how to make it effective. But again, when I discussed with Sister CG that now government is like allowing especially 9 to 12 classes, offline classes. So again, offline classes are coming. So here, discussing with Sister CG, I'm trying to combine both online classes as well as the offline classes.
Sir Madhav, I want to say it's not just
Yes,
9
sister.
to 12. It's not just 9 to 12, but it's so many of the places, many places they have started from class 6 to 12.
Yes, sister.
6 to 12.
Already, yes, sister. In almost like in many places
Yes.
in different states, already it is
Yes.
allowed. And I'm talking about Assam. In Assam, still not is started. Only 10 and 12 started. But anyway, so I'll try to cover both offline and online.
Yes, sir.
Both the ways, I'll take it simultaneously. I'll try it. Okay, so just here are some just some point how to make our classroom interesting, or it depends on what some research point I brought here. So I don't want to waste the time here, because it's to make our education system effective. There are many factors. It depends on many factors. Maybe it could be curriculum, maybe the textbook, or and environment of the schools, in what condition we are teaching. But the most important one, the one which is perhaps the most frequently overlooked, is involvement of quality teachers. Here the point is, as a teacher, when we go to the classroom, do we involve ourselves in the class? Yes, we teach. I'm not denying. We go to the class, we teach, we complete the syllabus. Maybe we are producing the good result year after year. But the point is that when we teach, do we involve ourselves there in the teaching learning process? Do we involve ourselves in the holistic development of the students? Is my classroom really interesting? What am I doing for this? Okay, so if it is offline class or even online also, when you go to the class, no matter I'm a class teacher or any other subject teacher, when I go to the class, the first thing is that we have to wish to the student. We have to wish the student. We should not wait that student will wish, then only I'll wish them. Because once we enter the class, then only what happens? When we enter to the class, then all the students, they are in their own position. Someone is talking, someone is doing something. So they are in the random positions. But when we enter, to bring their attention back, entering the class, if we wish them good morning students, good afternoon students, whatever, then at least immediately we can bring their attention towards us. When they enter to the class, we have to see the sitting arrangement of the students just once. Hardly 30 seconds will take to just see the sitting arrangement of the students, whether they're sitting properly or not. Maybe somebody is sitting bending this side, back side, front side, okay, keeping just hand here below the chin, and or talking with someone. So we have to see that sitting arrangement. Arrangement of the furniture, whether you can between the two desks, whether you can enter or not, whether the desk is properly arranged or not. Then next is psychology and body language of students. This is very important, because once we enter the class, we should know the state of the student, whether they are ready to accept you or not, ready to listen you or not. Because we should not go directly open the book, lesson number 5, we should not start. At least we have to see to the student. We have to observe to the student whether all the students in my class, they are really ready to listen to me or not. So we have to observe, because some of the students maybe they are feeling not good, maybe their health is not good, or maybe some are sad due to some region. So as a teacher, we have to understand that. I'm not saying one after one, like one by one counseling. I'm not saying that, but at least tentatively, like whether they're in the state of listening or not. That part we have to check. Another one is dominating, but caring nature, loving and caring nature, but dominating. Dominating means here I've used the word dominating. Like once you go to the class, all the students should not come on you. No? At least some control is there. Class control should be there. I'm not discussing here class control. That is again another segment. But when you enter to the class, at least all the students, they should look at you. They feel, teacher has entered the class. Okay, so that feeling should come, and that feelings comes only when you have some caring nature, loving nature, as well as little bit dominating nature. Dominating means, again, I'm not referring to the physical punishment or something. Here, just I'm saying that the class should be controlled. Then we should pay the attention to each and every student. And I think you all are doing this roll call by name. When you have to, especially the class teacher, when you take the attendance, we should go by name. Because even in our case also, when some person will call you by name, my name is Madhav, if somebody will call you, hi Madhav, obviously I feel very good because somebody is calling by my name. So similarly, students also, they like it when we call them by name instead of hey boy, hey girl, or hey you. Okay, instead of telling that, if we call them by name, it's always good. They feel good. They feel positive towards you. Do we listen or observe? This is one important quality, characteristics of a teacher. Here, I'm not saying listening to the management principal, vice principal, or coordinator. Yes, obviously, as a teacher, we have to listen to the principal or the management. We have to listen. But here, I'm talking about listening to the students and observing them. We should listen to the students what they want to say. Sometimes in the class, they may not understand what you are saying. We feel this topic is very simple, anybody can understand. But from students' perspective, they may not understand it. They may not, or sometimes they are not feeling good, they want to share you something as a teacher. So that time, if we don't listen, if we're busy with our syllabus, we have to complete the syllabus, I have to complete my work, and somehow I have to finish it and I have to go home. If we feel like this, then sometimes not exactly sometimes, it's the from the state of students, if we see, if we observe it, then for them it's really discouraging. We are discouraging the students if we don't listen to the students. And here, observe means what the students want to say, we have to observe. So here, I'd like to request the participants, if you please unmute yourself. First, you observe this picture. Then you, what you can observe from this picture? What you can notice in this picture? If you observe it, if you notice it, if you study this picture, and can you just tell me in one or two lines? Any 2-3 participants, what you can observe in this picture?
An innocent girl child.
Yes.
She is confused.
She is confused. Okay.
She wants to ask.
She wants to ask. Okay.
She is observing and trying to understand.
Okay. She is observing and try to understand something. Okay. Very good.
Seems to be waiting for an answer.
Okay. Waiting for some answer. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all the participants for your active participation. So here my point is, like, see, as a teacher, when one girl is standing there and looking at something, and as a teacher, just for one single girl, here we are making our views. Our views are different. Different teachers have different views. Just looking at one single photo. So then see from the student side, they can also the same thing, same topic, same word, Same thing, they can explain it, they can think in their in their thinking, they can think in different way. Even we teachers, if we can make different answers for one single photo, then from student side also they can think, they can observe it in different way. Then why not to listen to them? If they're saying something, sir, ma'am, may I say something? It is not like this according to me. This, then we should not impose our thoughts. We should not impose our thoughts what that child is thinking. Independently, we should allow them. We should listen to them. Then maybe final conclusion we can make in the classroom, in a group. But we should not give some fixed, concrete, fixed answer to the student. We should allow them to think. Even in our case, it is seen we may get different answers from one single photo. So here my point is, our classroom should not be student centered. Our classroom, our classroom should be student centered. It should not be the teacher centered. Means we'll go to the classroom, we'll take chalk, pencil, marker. You open the copy, start writing. What I'm saying, that you have to listen. That is the teacher centered. But what student wants, that I should try. Because see, until and unless we reach to the student, because in one classroom, if 30 students are there, all 30 are not equal. Their ability to learn the thing, it's not same, it's not equal. For different students is different. So we should not think only the high level students or low level or the average. Here we have to see all the students together. And what I'm explaining, suppose I'm explaining mathematics, 2 plus 3, it's 5, everybody knows. But one weak student, he may not have thought up to that level. So as a teacher, my duty to reach there, that these students unable to think, unable to decide, unable to learn, 2 plus 3 is 5. So I should reach there. I should reach there, that how this 2 plus 3 is 5, how to teach them. So we have to reach, that is the student centered. And whatever you're doing, the students, they should like it. Through activity is something we have to do, but whatever you are teaching, they should like it. They should enjoy it. Then only they can learn. Otherwise, just simply going to the class, finishing the syllabus, it is not an effective class, not a proper teaching learning system. There there especially we ignore the students, those who are weaker, and finally we may blame. I'm not saying to all the teachers, but we may blame that no, these students are weak only. They don't study only. We have to understand the psychology of different students. So our classroom should be a zone of excitement. When I go to the class, students should have the excitement. Yes, now we have to study the social study. Yes, now we have to study the science. Yes, now this is my maths class. So that excitement should be there. Even if it is English class, if it is language class, generally what we in especially here we say that no, language they don't like, they don't love. But I have seen many students, they really love the language. Maybe it's local language, maybe Assamese or some other local language, or maybe Hindi or English. They really like it. It doesn't mean only maths or science, but it depends on how, like, you make the content, you make the chapter excite, like you should bring that excitement to the student. So I'll come to that point later. Then a zone of curiosity, zone of comfort. So here comfort means, in short, I'll say, uh, once the teacher is entering the classroom, the student should not feel that, teacher is calm now. What will happen? Yesterday he or she has asked me something. If I don't know, I don't know what kind of word the teacher will use against me, or maybe scolding, these, that. So many things when like that kind of things are coming to the student's mind, then whatever you are teaching, nothing will go inside them, because all the times they're thinking, when teacher will ask me, and if I cannot answer, what kind of reactions the teacher will show, nobody knows. So if that kind of fear, that kind of situation is there inside the class, students cannot learn. So you have to make the classroom really comfortable so that they can learn. Zone of involvement of all kind of students in all activities. Generally, what we do, we select these students are good, so they'll go for science activities, or they'll go for mathematics, or they'll go for social studies. This, yes, sometimes we up to, but in general, when it is inside school programs, say intersection, interclass program, then, or even representing something from the class, when we have to represent something in the class, and we have to present something in the assembly, we have to speak something, or turnwise when the students they go and read the news, or they give some information in the assembly. We should involve all kind of students, all, even if some students really they don't want, personally we have to talk, then at least one line, thought of the day, at least that much also. If one student said one day, that next day he or she wants to tell or speak more in the assembly, or gradually we can improve, or the students can improve, and we can that involvement of the students can be more and more. So in that part also you have to see, we have to involve all the students. And zone of listening, already I told, as a teacher we have to listen to the students, what they want to say, what they want to share, so we have to listen. So here a person is holding a paper, a person is holding a paper. You can see something here, so please teachers, what you can see there on the paper, what you can see, please unmute yourself, and please can you tell me what you can see on the paper.
Black dot.
Black, black dot,
A black
okay,
dot.
okay, a black dot,
A black spot.
White paper.
okay, black spot,
White paper. White paper.
okay, somebody has seen white paper. Okay, I'll come to this point. So now, see, a A4 size paper, a big paper A4 size. Now,
Black
when
and
it is
white.
shown, so in the paper, what you can see here, you just see our eyes are directly going to the black spot, but we don't see, we can't see the white portion. A big white portion is there on the paper, but our focus is to the black spot, black dot. It means what? We can see, we can observe the negative thing easily, but lots of lots of white space is there. You can see lots of white space is there, but that we can't see on the paper. So in a big paper, we can see a black dot, even though that dot is very small, but we can see it. Means negative part we can see easily, we can observe easily, but hardly we observe the good part, white part. Okay, even where we can write, that part we cannot see. So when we observe something, we try to observe the good part also, not only the negative part. We should observe the positive part also. It is the human nature, including me. It is the human nature, because when we see something negative, we are easily attracted towards the negative thing. But it's very difficult to keep ourselves, to motivate ourselves towards the positive thing. But we should try. So here is about the attitude. I'm coming to the, in very short, I'm coming to the attitude. Attitude towards success. So attitude here is 100%. Attitude, A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E. If we go through the alphabets, A equal to 1, B equal to 2, C equal to 3. Similarly, it's Y equal to 25 and Z equal to 26. Then if we add all this, it becomes 100%. So towards the success, our attitude should be positive. We should work in positive way, then obviously we can reach to the goal. A negative mind will never give you a positive life. So now is another observations. So what you can observe it. Please anyone, you unmute yourself, and please can you tell what you can observe here? Is your glass half empty or half filled?
Half filled.
Yes, it's a yes. Any other answer?
Half full.
Half filled.
Fill.
Okay.
Half is
Okay.
full,
So here,
half filled
okay.
with
Half
water,
full.
half
Yes.
filled with
It's half
water,
full.
and half filled with air.
Okay. Thank you so much. So here we can come to this point. We can think in simply straight way. You can think in two different ways. Either we can say half filled or we can say half empty. But the same thing can be observed in different way also when it is completely filled. Half filled, lower part filled with water and upper part filled with air. So that is again the observation and even attitude also. Just this is one additional just a slide I have kept here. So here upper part is air and lower part is water. So glass, we can say glass is completely filled. So here instead of bringing this attitude part, I'm saying here this thinking skill. Again, I'm coming back to this point in between, though it is in between. Thinking skill means the same thing we can think in different ways. We can say half filled, we can say half empty, or we can say completely filled. So here also again, we can focus on the thinking skill, how we can think on the object, whatever we can see. Here again, related to this attitude, a person with a negative attitude cannot work together. The upper picture, a person cannot work together if he or she has the negative attitude. So separate, and all the positive attitude are together. And in the second slide, you can see all negative attitude together, and one the person who has the positive attitude, he is smiling and nicely working and oscillating or whatever. It's just about the attitude. Now, the next slide, to get attention for active learning. The most important part, especially the offline class, the first part is the body language. When you go to the class, directly you pull the chair and you sit, you open the book, copy, you read. Nobody will listen. Nobody. Not a single student will try to learn. So, but if you go, you body language, how you talk to those students, how you talk, how you represent, okay, your body gesture, so how you talk. So it depends on that. So your body language, it matters a lot to get the attention, to make the teaching learning active. Communication. Next part is the communication. So this is also one important point to make the class really interesting, because what you want to say, if you cannot communicate to the students properly, no matter it's the online class or offline class, if you don't communicate, if you cannot communicate the thing what you want to say, then also your teaching learning process is not effective. And especially here I would like to tell here that miscommunication, okay, defensiveness and excuses. Again, I'm repeating, defensiveness and excuses are the root cause of miscommunication and even source of conflict. When defensiveness is there, when we want to defend ourselves, we don't want to involve, okay, then automatically we the same thing will lead it towards the miscommunication side, and finally it becomes a big conflict. Then encouragement and inspiration. Continuously we have to encourage the student, no matter they're weak student or good student or average student, we should encourage them continuously. Then understanding part, we should understand them. Already I explained the thing, because until and unless we understand the mental setup of those students, or in what condition the the students they're coming, or they're inside the class, where they're in the state of listening to you or not. So understanding part is very important. Appreciation. Another point is appreciation. So we should appreciate. Sometimes what happened, we feel that all the students get the good marks, but what happened, sometimes one or two students may be there getting the marks in single digits, okay, and if we scold them and if we tell them, I taught this much whole year, I taught, and this much you got, and if we discourage them, then going back home again they will think, no matter what I do, my teachers are not appreciating. So always we have to appreciate. I'm not saying that some students are doing some unwanted things or some wrong things, so we have to appreciate their but all the students, they have capacity to do something. Maybe they're very good in music, they are maybe very good in playing sports, or maybe in education, or maybe they're good in some other sector. But wherever they are good, we have to appreciate, and together, appreciating in other field together, we have to keep them in the teaching learning process. Because when the students are like encouraged, when we encourage them, then automatically they will motivate themselves. They will motivate themselves that yes, teacher is saying me, I did the good things, I have done the good things, so means I can do. That confidence will come. We should be optimist. Then you all know, role model, teachers are the role model for the students. But sometimes what happens, some students, they take the thing in negative way towards the teacher, this teacher, that teacher. But that kind of things we have to change, we have to work on that. If the students are taking you in the negative way, then we have to work on it. Why the students, they take me in the negative way? So we try to find out the root cause. What is the cause? How I'm dealing to the student, how I talk to the student, how I teach to the student. Until and unless I look at myself, how I'm teaching, we cannot be a role model to the student. Today, in our case only, your case, in my case, if somebody will ask me, do you remember your teachers? Yes, I remember my teachers, even you. But what kind of teacher you remember? We can remember all the teachers. I'm not saying we have forgotten the teachers. But if somebody will ask you, can you tell me the 2, 3 teachers, like your school teachers when you were in the school? Then immediately whatever names are coming out, you just imagine today what kind of names are coming out. Like the teachers to whom we really today also, like we feel they're the god for us. So here also, because now we are teachers, that time we were student, and now we are the teachers. So do you think, or like even myself, including myself, I want to be that kind of teachers. After 5 years, 10 years, even students, they will not remember me. Or that kind of teachers, even after 50 years also, I had that teacher, what a teacher, what a teacher. So that kind of thing should come in your mind, and we should believe ourselves, and we can, because we have been teaching, we have been there in this field, so we can. Then ability to respond immediately. Here, this ability to respond immediately means when the student will ask something, maybe sometimes at the teacher, we may not know the answer, or say, so instead of scolding them, this unwanted questions, you go and it's not required, you go. Instead of telling that, you can think, or you can say, okay, I'll tell you tomorrow, or right now I'm busy. No need to say I don't know, but you can say right now I'm busy in some work, or I have some urgent work, so after 1 hour I'll tell you, or after half an hour I'll tell you, or next day I'll tell you. So at least you communicate the thing, but you respond immediately. Then creating motivational learners. So to get attention for the active learning, we should follow some activities. Then here I'm coming to the virtual classroom. Already we have discussed, now we are again shifting to virtual classroom to the live classroom. Just here, maybe in lower classes, we have been practicing this, and government will also, government will not allow us also for maybe for lower classes. So just here in short, I would like to brief here. Especially the classes in WhatsApp. When we take the classes in Zoom or this Google Meet, then it's fine, because they are almost, if you have the interest, then we can use the board, marker, or chalk pencil. Then as a live class, we can teach. Okay, it depends on you how much you can make your classroom interesting. But especially in the WhatsApp, in the remote areas, or somewhere where the net, even in Guwahati also, in some areas the network is not reaching, or you may have the network, the students may not have network, so that time we have to take help from the we have to take help of this WhatsApp. So generally we form a group in WhatsApp. So there, in that case, just I'm saying this, uh, Short text with interesting pictures. When we send some text, maybe no matter what is the subject, when we send some text, then if you along with that text, if we send a picture, interesting pictures, small picture, if we paste it there, then to look when the students want to see that picture, then automatically he or she will go through that text also, and the students will read. Otherwise, if we just send text after text, if we send one after another continuously, then how long that child will see your text? Not only one subject, all the teachers they are sending the text, and how long the students will go through the WhatsApp. But if we make it interesting, giving some photos, then always is quite effective. Short audio, we should send short audio. Suppose just 30 seconds, 1 minute, 15 seconds audio. Then they'll listen it. They'll listen it short audio. It's quite effective. Then if it is a long video, when you have to share the long video, then instead of directly sending the long video, better we have to share the link. Yes, in this case, obviously problems are there because we don't know whether students will go through the link or not. From our part, we have done, I've sent the link, but from student side, they may not see they may not go through the link, they may not see the videos. So in that case, we have to follow up. So I believe instead of sending the link or long videos, if we send the short videos or even or in audios, it's quite effective. In especially, I'm talking about the class through WhatsApp. Then discussion on textual content, just like everyday chatting. When we chat with our friends, students, or anyone in WhatsApp group, na, when we chat something, say if I say hi, then another will say hello, how are you? Have you taken your dinner or this that? So when we chat in that way, then even while just texting the content also, say question answer only. If you can just say what Ram said, suppose what Hori said, what in that chapter what Hori was doing. Then see if you send one question, around 30-40 answers will come because all the students want to participate. But you have to make it just like a conversation. Instead of sending text and doing this, I'm talking about during the class. Huh? I'm not saying in evening, night, or in extra time. Suppose your class is from 9 to 10 o'clock. You are there in the WhatsApp group. All the students are there. So just you text it. In that text, you just give a point. What is this? Then you can see if you go through just like the conversation, then participants will be more. Then next is asking students for a short recording and sending. Especially this is very effective in case of literature. In case of literature, because in maths we cannot record the audio and we can send it. Especially the literature, social study, it's quite effective. In literature, if you ask students, especially the lower class, if you ask their students, tomorrow what you do? Tomorrow record the poem or record that 4 lines or record your question answers and please send to me. Now I think all the teachers are thinking, now only that is left. Am I right? Only that is left. Students will send the audio and whole day, whole night I have to listen the audio what the students they have sent. I'm not saying that. Let the students send. If you can see, if you can listen, it's good. If you cannot, then also at least just you open it so that students should feel that yes, my teacher is saying. And randomly you give some comments. Good, you can do better. Keep it up. You can give some comments. Even not a single line, like you have listened, not a single line, because it is not possible. Suppose you are taking in five classes, suppose 1 to 5, and one class 30 students, and 5 into 30 is 150. If 150 students will send you the audio, it is not possible to listen one by one. No need to listen, but at least tell the students to send. And when they will record it, the same thing they'll record it thrice. First time they have recorded is not good, they'll delete. Again they'll record another time, next time again they'll delete. So one student will try to record it 4 to 5 times. Then see, when they'll record it for 4 to 5 times, automatically they will learn the thing. Maybe not a single time you have opened it, not required also for all the cases, but at least they will learn through that. So it's very effective method in the through WhatsApp when you take the classes. Then construction of simple question by students of one group to another group. It's just like a game. Just you have to make the group. Suppose group A 4 student, group B 5 students, group C 6 student, group D 4 student. Then you tell group A will construct 4 or 5 questions and they'll give it to group B. Group A will construct and they'll give it to group B. And group B will search the answer. Then similarly, group C will construct some questions from that particular chapter, maybe science, mathematics, whatever, no matter what is the subject, irrespective of subject. Then tell the students, instruct student properly that the question should be easy. It should not be very high level, difficult level, because otherwise students wants to make the questions but very, very higher level questions, and the students involvement of the students will be less. So instruct them very easy questions. You have to set 10 questions. Group A will set. Then they'll pass it to group B. Then group B will answer and they will send to the group C in the group only, in WhatsApp group only. Then similarly C to D. Then you can raise some points. For group A, group B, you can raise some points. Then finally you can announce the winner, which group has scored the more marks. During the class only, during that 9 to 10, 11 to 12, whatever time you are taking the class, during that class only you can do this activity, and quite effective this method. Even in Zoom, in Google Meet also you can do this. Only the point is that you should instruct student properly that they should not try to construct the question higher level questions. They should construct the questions in very simple questions. Then involvement, you can see the involvement of the students more. So initially for 1 or 2 class, you can help them how to construct the questions. Then one problem, practice twice, especially science and maths. So during the online classes, even offline class also, it can be done. Say for one problem is there, so you tell the student, you do the same problem, you solve it for twice. Maybe solution already you have given. In WhatsApp, you have clicked the photos, you have sent the answer in the WhatsApp. Now you tell the students to do same solution for 2 times or 3 times. And tell them, you please click the photo and send to me. Again, the same formula. You may not have the time to check that one by one. But at least when the students will do 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and they will send you the image, while sending the image, clicking the photo only, they will learn so many things, because they have to, that solution, it should come in the frame of camera, na? In the camera's frame, it should come. So when observing it only, doing 3, 4 times, so many things they will learn from there only. So sending just the photos, doing 2 times, 3 times. So here in the virtual class, we can make it interesting. There are many other ways also, because time is very short. It's already 6:30, I can see. Just a minute. My screen is okay. Then we all know this. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. We have been seeing this for a long time, but hardly we try to involve the students. So when we have to tell to the students, we always try to involve them through activities. I'll come to this very fast. Then here the complete learning is done when the student will see, when the students will hear it, and when they will do it. Maybe there will be some exception will be there. So I'm not going to that exception point, because here I'm just generalizing the thing. So when we see, when we hear it, and when we do it, then we can learn, we can remember it. Then active learning with activities. Now, what are the activities can be done inside the classroom to make it effective learning? Active learning, what I mean to say. So I'll discuss this very fast. Is the group discussion. The group discussion is one of the very easy and easy method, and easily it can be implemented in the class. So if it is physical class or is the virtual class, it can be done. So if it's just I'm generalizing it. So in a group, suppose you make a group of 5 student or 10 student, you give a topic. Already you have explained the topic. Now one class, you just give the topic to the student, different topic. Then tell them to discuss something and to prepare something. They're in the class only, not at home. They're in the class only, tell them to prepare. Then that whole group, you just ask them to represent. In short, Suppose in one group there are 5 students, all 5 has to say at least one line what they discuss about that topic. Then when you discuss it for 10 minutes, if you allow them to discuss 10 minutes, then rest 20 minutes, you can divide it 3 minutes to till something. Then here what you can do, the students, those who are not good in communication, they are really hesitating to express it, then here it's really effective. Today they will say one line, next day they will say 2 lines. It's quite effective. Then quizzing by themselves. This is really an interesting game. Quizzing inside the class. Quizzing means you are not the quiz master. We teachers are not the quiz master. Quiz masters are the students and participants are the students. You just tell the students, you ask a question from this chapter, you ask a question, but whatever question you'll ask, the answer should be known. That particular student should know the answer. Then one student will ask a question to randomly some other student. To whom? Now, in that case, you can do that. You can randomly call the roll number. Roll number 10. Roll number 10 will stand and roll number 1 will ask the questions. But who is asking the question, that student should know the answer. So like this, you can play the quiz. Just quizzing. Then peer assessment. Then please may I request those mics are just sound is coming. So please mute your mic. Okay. Then peer assessment. In peer assessment, here for the teachers, this is very good tools for the teachers. Like sometimes it is asked by the principal or the school management, you have to take the class test regularly. After every chapter, you have to take the class test. Yes, you have to take. But the problem is that correction. Taking class test is quite easy, but correction is really difficult. So in that case, I am giving you the solution about the class test. After every chapter, you can take the class test. Then you exchange the copy. You exchange the copy among the students, and you tell the answer. Then tell the students to correct the copies. One student will give the copy to other, and they'll exchange their copies and they'll correct each other's copy. See, they will learn more than what you taught, because they have to search the answer to check the copy. They have to learn, know the answer. Then when they check that, they will learn more. And then when they check copy and they'll give a tick, look at their face, how much they're enjoying, they're happy. And you just tell them, give marks also. And if it is a rough copy, you just tell them to sign there also. If it is rough copy, after giving the marks, you sign also. Then see, even the students, those who are not coming for the class test, when you say the class test, students are not coming to the school, if you tell them to check the copy, and at the end, if you tell them in the rough copy, not in fair copy, if you tell them to sign their signature, after checking the copy, you see all the students are coming just to sign only. So like that also, we can reduce our work. We can take the class test, and finally you have to observe it, how they have checked it. Once or twice if you do, it's quite effective. Then a game of pairing, you can make some card. So I'll come to that point, I'll go very fast. Then memory card, especially for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they can make some memory card, whatever formula or theories or some values, whatever they get, they can note in a small copy chapter wise, they can keep. So instead of searching the book when the problem comes, they can simply turn that memory card and they can do it. Then in social study, you all know, finding the location on the map, that also you can play and make the classroom interesting, especially in the map work. Then asking to construct questions. Already I told, when you teach a chapter, always tell the students to construct paragraph wise. From the second paragraph, you construct 5 questions, 6 questions. So when the students start, the student will start constructing the question, they will learn more because they have to search, they have to go to the content. Then demonstration of any topic by students. This already I told in group discussion, or just directly also for few students you can call and you can tell to demonstrate 1 line, 2 line from their part how much they can do. Then peer learning. Peer learning is, peer assessment and peer learning is different. Peer assessment means you are assessing the students among themselves, like they are evaluating each other. And peer learning means sometimes you have to make a group, 1 or 2 students we have to instruct. In one group, we have to instruct 1 student. Today, you teach your group. You give a mathematical problem or a problem from science or social. You allow 1 student to teach that particular group. Then in another group, you allow another student to teach. Then the next class, next time when you do, again you exchange the student. The student should not be again same. All the students should get the chance, but you can sometime, okay, in a month or like in 2 months, you can allow the students to teach to their friends. Then see, they will learn more and more, and they will get the interest on the subject also. Then involvement to measure the various quantities, especially science and maths. When we teach something, we simply say, area, perimeter, length, mass, this, but we don't involve the students to have the physical idea. If you ask 9-10 students, 1 gram means how much, 1 kilogram means how much, how many apples will be there to have 1 kg? You ask 9 and 10 students how many, they will give the answer. If you ask them, the 30 centimeter means how much? Even every day they're using that ruler scale, 30 centimeter. But if you ask them, can you tell me using your 2 hands, can you tell me 30 centimeter means what is the length 30 centimeter physically? They will say this much, this much, this much, okay? Different answer. They don't have the physical idea. And when they don't have the physical idea, how they will have the interest on the subject? So when we teach, we should give the physical idea to the students. Then there are many storytelling. So literature the teachers who are from the literature, so they can go for this. You can allow the students to tell stories. Story means anything in the construct. So I'm not going to this. So now next slide I'm going, that is teaching in a happy way. Whenever we have to go to the class, no matter what we have back of us, but when we enter the class, we should be happy. At least students should feel that my teacher is very energetic, very happy, always happy, and very energetic. And when you are happy, you are energetic. But when you are sad, directly you will search where the chair is. Where the chair is, you will search it, or you will sit at the back, the last bench of the student. You will sit until roll number 5 you read. Means when you are sad. But when you are happy, when you go to the happy mood in the inside the classroom, then even student also get some energy from you. So you have to be very happy. The next year, just I've kept some clips. Here is the group discussion. It's quite effective. You can implement on this. It's really effective. I have been using this. I have been using this. Whatever I'm saying here, all the activities I have been using when I go to I have to teach. I'm using these all activities. So from my experience, whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to focus in that part here. Instead of focusing some theoretical thing which cannot be implemented in the class, I'm not going to that. Which can be implemented in the class, that kind of thing only I'm telling here. And all these things I'm myself I'm using this. Then encourage students to involve. Okay, already this part also I've discussed. So we have to allow the students to involve. When we teach something, it should not be one-way teaching. It should be two-way teaching and learning. So allow them to involve. If one student is raising the hand, you should not say, hey, keep your hand down, listen to me. No. What they want to share, from their side also they want to share you something on that particular topic only. So you should allow them to involve. Okay, now coming to this point, please unmute yourself. I would like to request teachers and all the participants, in which side the handle of the cup is fixed?
Both
Yes,
the sides.
please. Okay.
Both the sides.
Both the sides. Okay. Any other answer? It's right side, left side. Someone told both the sides. Yes,
side.
please. Sorry, can you repeat it?
Side of the jug.
Okay, thank you. Okay, side of the at the center. Okay, thank you. At the center. Okay, thank you. Any other answer? Please fast because time is running. I'm just looking at the clock now. It's running very fast. Any other answer? Please unmute yourself and please participate. Which side the handle of the cup? Which side you can see?
Handle is fixed in top and bottom, both sides.
Okay, handle is fixed at the top and bottom. Okay. Okay, now I'll come to this part. See, it is again the observation. Okay, it is again the observation, thinking skill, observation, thinking skill. Whatever you have thought, okay, that you are telling, or your observation, we are focusing there. Here, if I say the handle of the cup is neither left side nor right side, okay, it is simply outside the cup. The handle of a cup is always fixed outside the cup. It is neither left side or right side. It is outside the cup. So here we have to think. So thinking skill here. So I'll go to the next. So now here my point is help them to think. Help the students to think. Instead of going to the class and starting the lecture and finishing the syllabus. So instead of that, if we tell something, teach something, and if we allow them to think, when they'll think, when they'll involve, and when they'll reply, then the learning process is quite effective. So as a teacher, our duty is to allow them to think. Until and unless students will think on that particular topic, particular lesson, they cannot learn. So allow them to think. You take time, at least out of 30-40 minutes in your period, always keep 5 to 10 minutes you keep, so that you'll allow them to think on the topic, on the chapter. Then the classroom is quite interesting, no matter it's online class or offline class. Now, again, here is the thinking skill, but it is a technique also. Here you can see, bring the attention back. Here I've written, and I think you all are thinking what kind of the teacher is, the trainer. The teacher is 4 plus 3 also, he doesn't know. It is quite simply 7. So why I've kept it here? See, when you are telling continuously to the student, teaching continuously to the student, they're listening, they're listening from morning 8:30 to 2:30. How long they'll listen? So when you take the class to make it interesting, to bring their attention back to what they're thinking, to break that thinking, because maybe they're thinking, now after the class, I'll go home, I'll take the mobile, I'll play PUBG, I have to cross that level, PUBG level, I have to cross, maybe they're thinking. But when you do 4 plus 3 equal to 8, and if you write on the board 4 plus 3, just as an example, this can be implemented to any chapter. 4 plus 3 equal to 8, when you have written, then all the students will write, because they have been doing this. So they'll write 4 plus 3 is equal to 8 only. Then you just wait for a moment until, yes, their students, 4 plus 3 equal to 8. Then those who are really paying the attention, they will say, no, sir, no, ma'am, you are wrong, or they'll start laughing. It means what? You are bringing their attention back to your topic. Then you can say, yes, 4 plus 3 is not 8, it is 7. Similarly, while teaching social study or something, you can say, no, the northeast part of India is towards the south part of India. Something you can say. Then if the student is saying, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, then you have to understand how much they're listening. But if immediately they'll react, sir, ma'am, what you are saying, northeast, how it can be towards the south end, then you have to understand, oh, they're listening to you. So you can break there, that because they are also human beings, so they may be lost somewhere in their thoughts. So you have to bring them back. So to break that, to break their thoughts where they are PUBG or some other thing they are involved, so to bring them back, you have to do something, some technique you have to apply. So this is one of the very useful technique, and I have been using this. So it's really effective. All the students starts laughing means what? You got the success there. Yes, students are laughing means you have brought the attention back. So here, and let them create. See, what we are thinking, that is always absolutely not right. What our teachers, our parents thought today in our time, that changed. Now what students they are thinking and what we are thinking, there is a gap. So we should not pressurize them. What we are thinking, they're supposed to think that only. No, let them allow. Okay, allow them independently think. They'll think, they'll do something, and they'll create. Then see, that's quite effective. They will be happy. You have seen in your school, you have seen when you tell them to prepare some presentation or something, always they'll prepare better than us. especially the technical part. So we should not impose our thoughts on them. We should not. We should allow them into, maybe first time they're doing it, it may not be very good. Let them try second time. Second time also may not be up to that mark, but third time obviously they will do in better way. So always let them uh, think and let them create. Allow them to participate and ask. Already I discussed this. We should allow them to participate and ask inside the classroom so that they will involve themselves. Use of teaching aids. In all the subjects we can use this teaching aids. All the subjects, even in language also we can use the teaching aids. So now maybe immediately when you say about the teaching aids, it comes now in our school to nothing is there. Principal is not bringing, management is not buying anything in the library, nothing is there in science lab, nothing is there. So what to show? No, that is wrong concept. Teaching aids means whatever available in our surroundings, whatever be there in our surroundings, that are the, please someone please mute your mic. Okay, so whatever there around us, that kind of things are the teaching aids. It doesn't mean teaching aids means a well equipped library or the science lab, physics lab, chemistry lab. No. Yes, for 11, 12 we need the lab because that is something related to curriculum. But here I'm talking about how to make the classroom interesting. Okay, just even I recall when I was the student, my English teacher. Okay, there was a chapter, open window. The window was open, in the train, the passengers are going and the window was open. One of the passengers is easy guard in our story, a short story. Then there, like in that story, one person is requesting a lady to shut the door, shut the window, but the lady is denying. But the expression, the tools in English the teacher has used, today also I recall, he used the table and he banged the table in such a, certainly not. There is a word that lady is replying to the person. The person is requesting to shut the window, but the lady is denying. Okay, and that's simply there in the book. It is written. The lady told certainly not. But the way, the body language, the expression by the teacher, banging the table. So table is their teaching aid, and telling certainly not. So see the expression, see the tool. What is the teaching aids here? Is the table. So here I'm coming with the next slide. Teaching aids. Anything, whatever be there around you. It could be a duster, chalk, pencil, pen, pencil, even seats, ruler, window, this drawer, a desk, bench. I'm physics teacher. I teach physics. Okay. So inside the classroom, I need the teaching tools because whatever there inside the classroom, I use the chalk pen. Just I'll give an example. Suppose class 9 teacher or 11 teacher, you are teaching the gravitation. In your hand, the duster is there. So simply you can hold the duster. Now, if I release the duster will remain there only. You just tell to the student, duster will remain there only. If you release it, if all the students will say, yes, sir, then you have to understand that students are not listening to you. But if all the students will laugh and say, no, sir, it will come down, or you can say the duster will go up instead of coming down, then when the students will react, means they're thinking. They're thinking on that issue and they'll reply that, no, sir, no, ma'am, duster will come down due to gravity or whatever it is. So now, if I use a duster or something and if I release it, it will obviously it will fall down. So that is my teaching aids. I don't need something else to bring from the physics lab and so to just to explain the gravitation. No, not required. When you have to teach torque, class 11 teaches when you have to teach torque, then simply using that door, how the torque is acting, how that length can be increased and decreased, and you can increase the torque or you can decrease the torque. Simply you can use that technique. So for all the subjects, even for reflection, for lower classes, higher classes, the glasses which are fixed on the school, on the windows or doors, that kind of glass can be used. So I'm just going a little bit faster. So then pairing of cards is for especially for the lower class. One nursery or 1, 2, 3 is quite effective, interesting. You can ask the students to make the card or yourself you can make the card once, then continuously same kind of card you can use for few years. You can make different cards and just try to match them. Then you can Just it's an activity. It's an activity. So you can create some interest. You can bring some interest on them. Then they, when they start pairing this correct one, wrong one, or which is not match, mismatch, tell them to separate the mismatch. Then they all will participate. They'll enjoy it. Especially focus on terms. Especially focus on terms. Don't ignore the words. I'm going very fast. When we teach, generally we just ignore the words, especially math, science, or social studies. When the words comes, magnitude. Okay, we say, magnitude is same. But what is magnitude? Have you ever thought on it from the student side? What is it exactly? When you say altitude, when you say diameter, we say, diameter is same. But you ask some of the students, physically, what is the diameter? What is the radius? If you say area or something, so try to give the physical idea. We have to explain the word. When you say about the weather and climate, if you ask 9-10 students, what is weather and climate? They'll say, same thing, sir, ma'am, same thing. So because they don't have that physical idea. So when we teach, when the particular words come, when the words are coming, typical words or even simple words are coming, we should not ignore. We should explain the physical meaning of the word, that particular word. Then you see automatically the classroom is interesting, because when they will gain something. Now when they want to know something new, obviously they will participate there. So your classroom will be interesting. But you should not ignore, there are many is, if we say perimeter, density, culture, social, we say unemployment, we can say economical condition, we can say laws, in physics, chemistry, or even according to this theory, that theory. You ask what is theory, what is law, exact meaning of the theory and laws. When we say hypothetical theory, hypothesis, in class 12 is de Broglie hypothesis. So what is the hypothesis? So the physical meaning should be explained to the student. So time is short, otherwise I could have told a little bit more. So here physical idea, we have to give the physical idea. Suppose one apple, it weighs how much? What is the weight of the apple? If you ask the students, they don't have the physical idea. When the students will have the physical idea, automatically they will gain the interest on the subject. If a cyclist is going in a cycle, or a bike is going on the road, so you should ask them what is the speed of this or that. We say cross-sectional area. If you ask them difference between area and perimeter, by definition, they are absolutely correct. By definition. They'll tell you the definition, everything. But when you go through the physical idea, what is it exactly the perimeter and area? So 90% students, they cannot answer it. They'll answer whatever written in the book, they will answer. I'm not denying. But I'm telling you physical idea. Exact area means what, or perimeter means what. So almost I reached to the end of this session. So that is the feedback, reflecting on feedback. See, as a teacher, when you are working somewhere, we are working somewhere, then always administration, maybe principal, vice principal, coordinator, whatever, or even senior teachers, when they will suggest something, they will tell something about us, then we should take it in a positive way, because we are in this profession. So until and unless we look at ourselves, if we don't try to reflect what I'm doing, if someone is telling you something, maybe that feedback is positive or that feedback is negative, but always you should be ready to accept that feedback, and we have to work on that feedback. We have to work on that feedback and see the result. But if we are very rigid, our mentality is very like rigid kind, we don't want to accept, no, I am perfect. Who is he? Who is she to give me the feedback? So that is totally wrong attitude. Because as a teacher, till the last day of my retirement, till the last date of my retirement, I have to learn. And when I'm ready to learn, then only I will be or I am a good teacher. And if I'm not ready to learn, no, I know everything. In my subject, without looking at the book, I can tell all the questions, all the answers, all the line by line I can say. No, we are not perfect, because we have to learn every day. I think you all have experienced also. Every day in the class from the students, we learn so many things. In one way, we are thinking, we are explaining, but some of the students there, thinking, they're explaining in some other way, which we have never thought on in that particular side. We have never thought on it. So we have to keep ourselves ready to learn that yes, I can, I'm ready to learn. So we should accept the feedback. We should work on feedback, and we have to work on it. No matter the feedback is positive or negative, then we can grow. I'm including myself. We can grow in the teaching field. So here I'd like to request all the teachers to accept the feedback given by principal, vice principal, or even senior teachers also, when they will say suggest, sometimes maybe negative way or positive way, but we have to accept it and work on it. And this is a very important part to improve ourselves to for this teaching learning process quite effective way. So I'm almost about I'm almost at the end of this session. So finally here, even impossible, we can make it possible. We all know. So I'm possible. Everything we can make it possible, provided our mindset. If we change our mindset from negative to positive side, then only impossible becomes impossible. Provided we are ready to change our mindset from negative to positive. Yes, I have to do. Yes, I have to make my class interesting. Yes, I have to involve all the students in my class. Then everything is possible. So change in mindset from negative side to the positive side, we have to jump. Maybe initially it's difficult. You can see the gap. You can see the gap between negative and positive. There is a gap. Yes, we have to jump a lot, but it is possible. So here, my this session is finished. I hope you all have enjoyed, and I think you all are little bit. I'm not say much, but little bit. You all are benefited from this session. I've tried my best because it's really difficult in the online. If it is offline, then we can participate actively. We can do some physical activities. We can interact. But here just is a kind of one way. But still, I try to make it both the ways. I don't know how much I could. So thank you very much for all the participants, all the teachers, all the like principals from the different schools, such as CG. So to everyone, thank you so much giving me this opportunity to interact with you all, and hope in uh, upcoming days, hope we'll again meet. Maybe next time we'll meet offline physically so that we can see each other. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Can we all remain muted? Sir, could you stop? Sir, could you stop presenting? Can we come to the interactive session? Okay. The COVID-19 has taught us the importance of going beyond the classroom. The time demands the learning support that is appropriate for the learner's situation. Nothing more and nothing less. And it calls to act now in this present. Thank you, Sir Madhav, for the enriching session. I can say that it was indeed an excellent session that has moved us to have passion for our mission of education. Thank you, sir, for calling our attention on the nitty-gritties of virtual classroom and active learning. You have shown us the way forward to make our classrooms filled with life We see the vast knowledge you have in the field of education. As you have said, you have not only told us the things that are impossible, but things that are very practical. Thank you for telling us and showing us the way. Dear sisters and teachers present here, the time is now for us to interact. And so I welcome the questions and queries. I am sure there are so many of you want to interact and to get enriched further on points that have touched us. You may now take your time to ask questions. You may also text your questions in the chat box. The floor is now open for questions, queries, and interactions. Anyone? You may unmute yourself and ask the questions.
Yes, teachers, you can feel free. From my side, whatever I can, I'll try to answer it. So, teachers, any
Thank you,
query
sir.
or anything? Yes. Yes,
There is
ma'am.
someone.
Thank you so much for your session. It was very simple and very effective. All the points that what you have said, it's really very practical. But one thing I just have a doubt, because we are in a rural area and the network connection is very difficult for the students as well as for the teachers. You said that making the students more effective, is it possible to collect all the recorded videos in our mobile? Because the mobile that the teachers are having, the space may not be enough to collect all. In fact, you have said that it is not means we are not able to look into all the videos, but the students will be sending it into the videos they will be sending into the mobile. It will be a problem for the teachers to collect all the videos in the mobile, because we have to use only 1 or 2 days because the space will be running short.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your queries. Now, already in the session, I told it is not possible. Not only video, even audio also you cannot keep in our mobile because space is very less. So my point is here, let them send it, allow them to send it. You just, as if you have seen, after that you just delete and randomly you give the comment. But once they will send the videos or audios, whatever it is, they feel good and they'll learn and they'll send it. And it is not necessary that all the videos you have to see one by one and you have to give the feedback. I'm not saying that. Once they will send, after 1 hour, after 2 hours, you can delete from your mobile. But just if possible, give 1 or 2 lines. Good, keep it up. Okay. So that if that kind of comment if you pass, then they will be encouraged. But it doesn't mean you have to keep the videos for a long time. Even after 5 minutes, you can delete it. Only the thing is that our work should be done. The student, they should do their work and they are showing to us. But already I told we may not have the time to see all the videos and not necessary also. But from our side, we should give some work so that they will do it. Simply, if you see do the work, they will not do. Na? But if you say record it, record the audio or click the photo and send it, then they'll do it. Only that is the difference. I think I'm clear here.
Sir, I just have one question. The present time when we look at it is so filled with negativity around. And so I see that our students today, they tend to be negative, even teachers, we educators. So could you suggest some more measures where we can make our surrounding positive, our students positive. Just like you gave us the example, like pointing out that a dot, black dot, and also the glass, empty glass. So often we tend to look the negative side or the wrong side, and
Yeah,
also
sure.
to see the emptiness more than the filling in. So could you give us some more explanation on that?
Okay. Thank you, sister. Here in this part, from my experience, I'm saying when we can see some negative things around us, especially when we see the negative things in student. I'm particularly I'm talking to the student from student side. Then instead of giving some physical punishment or scolding them or repeatedly telling not to do, uh, rather we should go to the student's mindset, how that student is thinking. If the student is thinking in very negative way, first we have to match with his or her thinking. Then how he's thinking, accordingly you have to work understanding his mindset. Even in my school only it was happened, one student is very disturbing and naughty, and all the teachers they're like pointing. Yes, the student was it's really problematic, but when I meet the student and I started talking to him, the first I told thing, calling in the class in front, I called him, inside the class, according to me, the best student is that particular student I'm showing. And I asked that particular student, what do you think? You feel good or bad? And that student told, sir, I'm bad. That student is lower class student told, sir, I'm bad. And I told, how do you know? No, sir, everyone is saying I'm bad. And what about your parents? No, parents are also saying I'm bad. And then I again asked, do you think you are bad? I asked him like how he's thinking accordingly, just matching his mindset and my mindset. Then he told, no, sir, I'm not bad, but everyone is saying so what to do. Then just I started talking and his good things. So first we have to appreciate where he is good or that particular student is good. And when we start appreciating, when we interact, then automatically whatever mindset he has, we can bring him or her towards the positive side. But simply scolding him or her or giving physical punishment, now this generation it doesn't work until and unless we match uh, his mindset and our mindset, and we have to work together. How he's thinking, first we should know how to think according to him. Then only we can mold or we can bring to the right side. So if from my experience, I'm saying I think it is possible to bring the students, those who are thinking negative, to bring them positive. I think we can. And in my school, I'm implementing this techniques. It is working. I think it will work, sister. So
Yes. Anyone else from the floor? Any questions?
Sister, I want to ask one
Good evening.
question.
Yes.
good
Good
evening.
evening, sister.
Good.
Okay, I ask the questions. I'll give it first to the persons before me. Go ahead. I will be asking later.
Okay, your voice is not clear. I think sir told to ask someone. I think both the teachers. You have unmuted yourself.
Sir, hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Can you? Yes, I want to ask one question. Nowadays, like students are finding very difficult to complete homework or to do homework. Like which way to motivate them and to help them to do homework? Because I thought only in my class, but then most of the teachers find it. They come to school without completing their homework. How to solve this problem? And as a result, teachers get tensions because I suppose like mathematics giving homework. Then returning back, they don't do anything, they come back. Then in that way, class is so disturbing and teachers' mood changes right from the first period maybe. So in that way, how to handle them in that way? Most of them, we find it that most of the classes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. It's not only your problem; it's the problem in all the schools. Even in our case, also the same problem. But we have to be positive. And regarding the homework, always you have to see. According first, we have to plan according to like discussing with the class teacher. Like suppose Monday, only 2 or 3 subjects the teachers will give the homework. Suppose math, social study, and one more subject. Suppose Monday. then Tuesday some other subject, then Wednesday some other subject. And when we give the homework, we should not ask the student immediately, very next day to submit, because ultimately they're children. They also want to watch the TV or play sometimes in mobile. So going back home, they may not have time. So if we don't overload them, if we divide the work, suppose already I told in Monday for 2 subject or 1 subject or 3 subject we have given, then accordingly Tuesday, if we make a routine, okay, and if we ask them, suppose Monday homework is given, if we ask them, we have to submit on Wednesday, or whatever homework is given on Wednesday, that student will submit on Thursday or Monday. So if we give some gap, then they're little bit interested. Otherwise, see, going back home, all 7 subjects they have the homework. Obviously, which one they will do and which will they will complete. And as it is nowadays, the students they want, like they all are engaged, like they all are engaged in some other activities also. That is one point. And another point is, uh, as a class teacher, as a teacher, we should know the student personally also. We should know the student, like what kind of student is that. So if the student is very weak or it's very lazy to write, then you should not force. Okay, we have to talk to him, and sometimes even you can implement some little bit, like what to say, strict instruction also, but not always. I don't suggest, but as the things are coming, just I would like to add here. Suppose one student is not submitting the homework, Monday you told, Tuesday you told, Wednesday you told, then you call the student and tell, you fix the date. Instead of I'll give the date, you fix the date. You just say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, after 1 week, after 1 month, after 1 year, when you will submit. You give the date, I'll record it, and you have to submit on that day. Obviously, the student will not ask, because when you ask, then student will say, ma'am, sir, I'll submit this homework after 1 week or after 3 days, after 4 days. Then his date you note it in front of him, looking, just showing him, you noted that yes, you told yourself, you told the date. So on that day you have to submit. And if you cannot, then what to do? You ask him only. You don't decide the punishment. You ask him only. Then something you will say, no, sir, ma'am, you give the punishment, physical punishment. You can know, not other than that. Then finally, what you can say? I have given you to write one time, and you have selected from your side. You have chosen the date. On that date, if you cannot submit, then same thing you have to write 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times. I'll increase accordingly. If not, then if required, I'll talk to your parents also. Though we should not go in that extent, but if it doesn't work at all, then sometimes this kind of um, situations, I think sometimes we can handle like this also, but always decrease the load. You divide the work among the like among the teachers, and accordingly you give the homework. I think it will work. What I believe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for your informative and practical session. It was very enriching. And in the light of your sharing, I have a simple query. In our school, we are taking online classes through Zoom. And when you mentioned a particular tip regarding involvement of the students, like finding the location on the map, this is very practical. This activity is very much applicable for those of us who are taking social science. And in that case, in my case, students are very active and they want to participate. Everyone wants to say it out when I asked. So in the situation, like involvement of the students, how to manage the situation well, how to make my class more effective if I cannot ask everyone.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Already we have discussed here. So the simple theory is, please mute yourself. The simple theory is, just we have to involve the student this way or that way. It doesn't mean only one activity, but in a class, suppose in one particular class, if you by name, if you involve the students, 10 students, then the next day in another class, you can involve some other 10 students. So every day you try to involve more number of students, and even from your side also, you can give some activities where they can involve themselves, any kind of activities, any whatever they like. Only the solution is involvement of the students. Once the student will involve, no matter what is the activity, no matter what is the topic, automatically our teaching learning process is quite effective. So we have to think, we have to try to involve the students. Just it should not be one way traffic. It should not be one way teaching. It should be both way. Even the students, those who are speaking less, they don't speak more, quiet, or hesitation is there. Okay, then we should encourage them to participate. Then you can see the differences among the students. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So there is one question in the chat box. My question is, sir, with what pedagogy shall I start my class? A question from one teacher.
Okay. It depends on actually subject to subject, because if I'm teaching maths, then obviously it is different. If I'm teaching English, then it is obviously different. So it's subject to subject. It we cannot say particularly this pedagogy you have to follow or this and that. It depends, and I believe that sometimes, though as a teacher we have to go for planning, lesson plan, this that we have to do, because until and unless we plan our syllabus or our daily planning, then it will not be effective, because going to the class and thinking what to do, what shall I teach, so that is not good. So always planning is required. But subject wise, sometimes what happens, suppose you have gone to the class in one particular planning, but 2 3 students, they are raising some questions. Last class whatever you taught, from that the question, the students, they raise the questions. So now what do? You will explain the like those questions, or you will tell the answer, or you will tell to the students, no, I have to follow this planning. Today's my planning is this, so I have to teach this. Obviously, as a teacher, will not do that. So in that particular moment, we have to address their problems. So accordingly, according to the subject, according to the situation, we have to start the class. So here, I don't want to say any particular pedagogy or any particular method to follow. It depends subject to subject. Only the thing is that the classroom should be quite like teaching learning process inside the classroom should be effective, interesting, and all the students should involve in the class.
Anyone else from the floor?
Yeah, one more question. Hello, can you hear?
Yes, I'm listening, please.
Sir, can you explain little more about the student-centered classroom? You explained to us, but if there are students, more than 40 students, and they have a different way of, they wanted the teacher to take the classes, how the teacher can look into that student-centered classroom? Can you explain to us?
Yes, sure. Thank you. Especially if I'm teaching one classroom, say I'm teaching in 8A. In 8A, there are 40 students. So I have to divide the students. Students, they should not know. I have to divide the students. These are the good students. These are mediocre or just average students, or these are the weak students. For me, not for the student. No student should know this, that he is weak or he is good. Because for us, for teachers, all the students are equally good. All are good, equally good. But for us, then when we do something, when we teach something, then accordingly, if we arrange the sitting planning and whatever topic we are focusing, okay, simply we should not explain and explain and explain, and not a single moment we are thinking that whether the students are understanding or not. Or generally, what happened when we teach in a classroom, always we focus to the good students. Eye to eye contact will be there with the good students, or as if we are explaining to the good students only, and the weak students at one corner, either they're gossiping or putting the head down, just listening or sleeping. Even sometimes we don't know. So in that case, if we totally divide the students, if we sitting arrangement, if we mix up, if we pay the attention to each and every student, and whatever we are teaching, just student centered means whatever you are teaching, whether that is reaching to each and every students, whether each and every students are involving, interacting with you or not, that is the student centered. It should not be just from my side I'm explaining looking at the good student, but from student side I should go there, I should reach to the student. Already I told how that student is thinking. Maybe you are teaching in that level, but student is thinking in this level only. Say you are teaching some theory, already you have crossed that part, already you have completed that part and you another one. But some students are there, still they are thinking that previous one only. Why that? Why that? What is that? How that? Then they are thinking that only, and already we have completed that part and we are in there another part. And suddenly when you ask the questions, they cannot answer, then we scold. But the student is thinking now, why that? So the problem is that we could not reach to the student. So we have to reach to the each and every student. I know it's difficult. Already I told we have to complete the syllabus. So for that we have to segregate and we have to mix up the student. If there are 5 weak student, 5 good student, then you just bring them together. Then when you see a good student, automatically weak student will also be there. Then you can see both the students together. So similarly, if you mix it and if you interact, if you allow them to interact, then obviously the weak one will boost up and that good one will help. You have to instruct, the good one will just help to lift the weaker one up. We have to do the teamwork. It should not be individual work. It should be the teamwork among the students, not among the teachers. Obviously, among the teacher also have to work in team only. But here I'm talking about particularly classroom. So we have to take the student as a team, not as an individual one. I think I'm clear here.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I think there aren't many queries. Your session was really very clear, and if I see the chat box is filled with such comments. Here, before we conclude, I have one last query, one last question to you. It is very personal.
Yes, sister.
I see you very enterprising and very accomplished teacher, because having gone through your biodata, I see that a lot have accomplished. Could you tell us what kept you going, or what was a motivating force to continue in this teaching profession?
Thank you, sister. I think it's a really interesting part. The thing is that what I believe, sister, whatever I do, I enjoy and I do. I never take anything as a burden. Whatever given to me, I never look back. I always look forward and I always try, because until and unless I try, I cannot. And when I try, I enjoy it. No matter I teach in lower class, I teach in higher class. Even in my class, I sometimes I taught in MSc student also in some private universities, and in BSc also I taught. Now I'm teaching in 11, 12, and even sometimes I was vice principal. Now I'm teacher. So it doesn't make any difference for me. Whatever I do, I always enjoy and do. I feel myself, I make myself happy, and I do. Whenever I go to the class, myself, I keep happy. And each and every class I enjoy, no matter sometimes, not always, but sometimes some conditions, if I have to take 6, 7 class also, all the classes I teach with equally, like with equal energies. Actually, I enjoy the profession. That's why I think, sister, I think I'm able to give you answer. Only the solution is whatever I do it with. I enjoy, and in very happy way I deal the thing, and I complete my task.
So, thank you so much. It is your answer is really overwhelming, I can say. Actually, there are a few more questions are there, and we are actually running short of time. And I see also participants list is coming down. So I think better that we wind up. Shall we?
Yes, sister, sure, sister. If any other time we'll get, then maybe we'll meet and we'll interact.
Yes, we'll meet again.
Yes, sister, I'm really optimistic.
Because,
maybe we'll meet other days.
I think most of the questions to answer, you have told it in your last answer. Do everything with the contentment and joy and with the total dedication, and that's what you have been doing, and that's what you really proved to us while you took the session. And now,
thank you,
to conclude the session, may I now call upon Mr. Santosh Matthew the teacher from Archangel School, Kerala, to propose word of thanks. Sir Santosh Matthew.
Hello, sister, am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir.
you're audible.
Thank you. So, first of all, good evening to all those who are present here. Honorable resource person, the Madhav Badhyaya, organizer, Sister Shiji James, principals and dear teachers. I feel really honored and privileged to be before you to propose a formal award of thanks. There is a lot of points to restate over here, but since we are running out of time, I am not repeating all that. Let me enter into my formal duty. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed personalities of this webinar who made this webinar a great success. The interactive sessions were beautiful, and there were a lot of queries, and a resource person really could answer all the questions. So it was the interaction and all the personalities who were present over here. And I extend my sincere gratitude to our honorable chief guest and resource person, Mr. Madhav Badhyaya, to take out time from his busy schedule to grace this event. And thank you for your inspiring and encouraging words. And you made our day a special day with your presence. Thank you really, sir. And I extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to the organizer of this webinar, Sister Shiji James. I would like to thank all the principals who are the backbones of MSMH systems. Dear teachers, you are the social engineers of modern times. I wish that this webinar enlighten you enough to excel yourself. Thank you, dear teachers, for your presence. And thanking you all once again. Let me stop. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Sir Santosh Matthew, for raising the sentiments of gratitude on behalf of all of us present here in this forum. I just want to say, to conclude this session, Sir, I just want to say thank you to Sir Madhav again. Sir, you have said that as a teacher, till the end, we are learning. We are not perfect. We have to work on feedback, change the mindset, and we had to move from impossible to possible. So these were all really very motivating and really life-giving. Thank you so much for this life-giving words and words of encouragement. And we see that education is not filling a pail, but lighting a fire. Dear sisters, principals, all the teachers present here, let us take up the challenge of the present to light up the fire, to set ablaze the world around us by guiding the souls entrusted to our care with right motivation and ever kindling the fire they have within. I want to make a special mention of thanks to Father Tom Mangantare, who facilitated us with this Zoom. Thank you so much, Father Tom. Dear sisters and teachers, when we understand about the present time, taking a closer look at ourselves, we find that we stand on the shoulders of risk takers and builders. Let us remain committed to the cause of education and keep on striving to bring out the best from those entrusted to our care. Let's pray that we may be worthy of our ancestors. So I thank one and all for making this webinar a success by your active participation. We will meet again in the same forum, and thank you so much. Thanks to one and all. Thank you, Sir Madhav.
Thank you, Sister Shiji.
Thank you so much, sister. Thank you all.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
Thank
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Sister Shiji and Sir.
Thank you, sir.